I will tell you one thing. See, in structured programming, we follow something called as divide and approach method. Divide and approach method, very, very important. So what is this divide and approach method is, see, why do you write a program? You basically write a program to solve a problem, correct? Is in any language, what we do is we take a problem. First we will understand the problem. Then what we will do is we will divide that into sub-problem. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And we'll further divide the sub-problem. Then what we will do, we will identify a solution to this sub-problem. Solution to this sub-problem. So when we have identified solution to this sub-problem and this sub-problem, we would have identified the solution to the problem. This is called divide and approach.
Okay, sir.
See, in your this one also, day-to-day work, if your machine is not working, if any one machine is not working, how will you tackle to solve the problem? First, you will find whether electric connection is proper or not. First, then what if that is okay? Then you will go to the next stage. If that is okay, you will go to the next stage. So what you are trying to do? You are trying to do divide and conquering the problem.
Correct.
So this is the methodology what we followed in C program by the use of functions. We call it as functions. I'll write one small program and show you, then you'll understand by use of functions. Okay, and C programming followed top-down approach. C programming followed top-down approach. If you remember, there was one function called main.
Yes, sir.
In the main function, you had opening brackets and closing brackets.
Yes.
And you had lines of code written here. This is called top-down approach. It starts from top, it goes till bottom. So these are the three things which you need to know in structured programming. In structured programming, we follow divide and approach method. In divide and approach method means every problem will have sub-problems. So sub-problem is again further broken down into sub-problems. Each sub-problem will have a solution. The solution to a sub-problem can be through a function. So the approach it follows is called as a top-down approach.
Yes, sir.
But later on what happened, people found a lot of problems in structured programming. There are a lot of problems, and one major problem in such structured programming is security. There is no security of your data in structured programming. So what people did was they came out with a new type of programming called OOPS. It's called as OOPS. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. It is called as Object Oriented Programming System. Object Oriented Programming System. Now, which were the languages which supported Object Oriented Programming System? The first language which supported was C++. Then you have Java.
So why not C then?
C structured programming. C was called structured programming. So what happens from the structured programming, they move to object oriented programming. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then you have something called as Python. Now, what you are going to learn? Python. Then you have R. Then you have C#, JavaScript. All these are object-oriented programming.
Yes, sir.
So now today the demand is for object-oriented programming. We use structured programming but not in a big way. But when you are working on real problems, you will have to deal all the problems with object-oriented programming only. So in Python programming, we will be focusing more on OOPS concept, that is object-oriented programming concept.
Sir, what is the difference between structural programming and object-oriented programming?
I will tell you. I'll come to that point now. I'm going to tell you what is the difference between structured programming and object-oriented programming. See now, I will write one program in C, then you will understand the difference. Okay. So let me just simply write one program. I don't have a C compiler in my system now. So you know this, stdio.h. What is this? Standard input output.h. You remember this?
Yes.
Or if you don't remember, don't worry. I will just follow what I'm saying. Then I will directly go to object-oriented programming. Okay. You have void main. I'll say integer A, comma, B, comma, sum. So declaring three variables. What are the three variables? A, B, and sum. You know what is a variable?
Yes.
Whose value keeps on changing. Okay. Now what I will do, I will say the value of A as 10 and the value of B as 20. Okay. Now what I will do, I will say sum is equal to add of int x, comma, int y. Okay. Then I will say int z is equal to x plus y. I'll say return z. If you are not understanding, don't worry. I'll tell you line by line how it works. Maybe now you'll be a little confused. Return z, and I will close this function. Then I will close the main program. Sorry. So what I'll do here is I will say printf sum is percentage comma then sum.
So we have taken sir A equal to 10, but we are adding X.
I'll tell you. That is where I'm going to explain you now. Okay. We will go line by line. Now focus. Okay. This is called a header file, stdio.h. It is called standard input output.h. Okay. Now, why do we use this file? Because I'm using printf statement. Correct? No. Printf is for printing in C. Scanf is for inputting in C. You know that?
Yes.
So that printf and scanf, if it has to work, I should have this file stdio.h. Is this clear? Now, if you are not understanding C, forget it, because you are not going to learn C. I'm going to teach you Python. But only thing is, just know that stdio.h is a header file which will basically contain printf and scanf.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
every program will have a main function, main method we say. Okay, the program execution begins from there. Where does the program execution begin? From the main method. So what I am doing is I am having two variables. One is called A, which is equal to 10, and second one is called B, which is equal to 20. And I have one more variable called sum, where I am not declaring any value. If you want, I'll declare it as 0. Now what I am doing is, I am using a statement called printf. What I am doing, printf sum is percentage D, and what I am doing, I am calling this function called sum. This is add, I'm calling this function called add. Is this clear? Okay, now what is happening here? Now when I call this function called add, it will basically come to this function. So what I am having in this function, I am having two variables. One is x and one is y. Okay, now this x and y should receive the value. So what I have to do in this add function is, I will give a comma b. See now what is happening? I am calling a function called add. When I am calling the function called add, I am passing the value of a and I am passing the value of b. So this means this becomes add of 10 comma 20.
Yes, sir.
So here when it comes to add, I have int x and int y. So that means this 10 and 20 comes to this function called add. Somebody should accept those values. So x will accept the value of a and y will accept the value of b. Is this concept clear now?
Yes, sir.
Which means the value of x is 10 and the value of y is 20. Now, this is the opening of the function and this is the closing of the function. Within this, I have one more variable called z. So what I am doing in z is, I am telling z is equal to x plus y. So what will be the value of z? Z is equal to x plus y. X is 10, y is 20. So 10 plus 20 becomes 30. So the value of z will become equal to 30.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm telling return the value of z. So what will happen? It will return the value of z. So where it will return? It will return it to this function here. Is this clear?
Correct, sir.
And the 30 will be printed. And the 30 will be printed. You understood now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what are you trying to do is, you are trying to create one small function which is basically adding two numbers. Okay, so in structured programming, what will happen? See now this function itself is a structure. This is one small structure. See here, I'm opening the bracket, I'm closing the bracket. From here to here, it is called as a structure. What is a structure? A structure is nothing but small module of a program. Suppose if I want to write a program to add two numbers, subtract two numbers and multiply two numbers. So I will have one function for add, one function for subtraction, one function for multiplication. So there are three functions. Each function is called as a structure. That is why it is called as structured programming. If you want to build a house, foundation is the first structure. On that foundation, you will build a wall. Wall is the second structure. On that wall, you will put the roof. Roof is the third structure. So now foundation is one function, wall is another function, roof is another function. So dividing your problem, what was the problem? Problem was to build a house. To dividing that problem into number of functions is called as structured programming. Making one foundation is the first problem. Building the wall on the foundation is the second problem. Putting the concrete roof on the walls are the third problem. So you had three different functions. So we call it as structured programming. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So structured programming is full of functions. Okay. Whereas object-oriented programming is full of objects. Okay. Now, if you are not understanding what is structured programming, forget it. I am not bothered about it. But concentrate on what is object-oriented programming, because in object-oriented programming also we'll have functions, but their functions are treated in a different way. They are not treated as structured programming. They are treated in a different way. So how it is treated, I will just show you. But just know that functions are there in object-oriented programming also. In object-oriented programming, there are also functions, but not like how we wrote it in C programming now. And to learn object-oriented programming, you don't have to have knowledge of C programming at all. People have that misconception. Only if I know C, I can learn C++. No, nothing. There is no relationship between C and C++. You can learn C++ without the knowledge of C. Is that clear? Similarly, you can learn Python without the knowledge of C++.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now we will see what is object-oriented programming. So we'll delete all these things. Now I'll give you a very simple example. You will understand what is object-oriented programming. So now object-oriented programming system examples are C++, Java, Python, R, C# and JavaScript. Now object-oriented programming will have certain features. Now you have to just understand these features. Now just know what are these features. I will tell you one by one what are these features. Okay, I'll explain you. The first feature of object-oriented programming is called encapsulation. One second. It's called encapsulation. This is the first feature of object-oriented programming. What is it called?
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Okay. The second feature of object-oriented programming is called abstraction.
Abstraction.
Abstraction. The third feature of your object-oriented programming is called inheritance. Inheritance. And fourth feature of object-oriented programming is classes and objects. So if any programming language, whether it is C++, Java, Python, if you can work on these four features, they are called as object-oriented programming language. So in C, you don't have encapsulation. In C programming, you don't have abstraction. In C programming, you don't have inheritance. And in C programming, you don't have the concept of classes and objects. So therefore, C is not an object-oriented programming. So forget C. We will only concentrate on a programming language which will have these four important properties. Is that clear till now?
Yes, yes, sir.
So first we shall see what are classes and objects. Then we shall see one by one what are these properties in object-oriented programming. So for that, I will give you one simple example. Okay. Now, waiting for that to happen. 1 second. I will just. So, did you get this image?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this image is called as an actor. So what am I teaching you now? I am teaching you what are classes and objects. Now concentrate, okay? Now this image is called as an what? Actor. Actor is generally a noun.
Yes.
Actor is generally a noun. Now, you all studied in college. In college, there are lecturers, correct? So, a lecturer is called as an actor. HOD is there. HOD is also called as an actor. He is a noun. Principal is there. Principal is also called as an actor. He is a noun. Security is there. Security is also called as an actor. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, every actor will have some actions. Every actor will have some actions. Now, if you take this actor, Now, whatever actor, if he's a lecturer, what actions will he have? So I'll just try to diagrammatically show you. What I'll do is I'll put one arrow like this, and I will take this shape. I'm drawing a diagram only for you. So this is a shape. I will add one text. So what is the first action that lecturer will have? He will take class. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So will lecturer take class or not?
Yeah.
Okay, we will not use the word take because the bad English. We will say handle class. All one and the same. Okay. So that lecturer will handle class. So what are the other operations the lecturer will do? Can anybody tell me now? What's the second action he will do? He will mark attendance. Aisha, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Will he not handle class? Will he not mark attendance? Okay. Now, what is the another action he will do? What can the other actions the lecturer will do?
Now he will ask for now he will actually discussing that all the topics what he will do, what kind and what all topics he will.
That will come in handle class only. When I say handle class, it means discussing of topic, question, query clearing, all those things will come in handle class only. Apart from this, what important activity he will do?
You handle exam.
Excellent. Don't you think he will set the question paper? He will set the question paper or not?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So I'll add one more action now. So this action, I will say, he will set question paper. Okay. Then what else? After setting the question paper, will he not evaluate the answer script?
Yeah.
Very good. So what I'll do, I'll add that action also. So what he will do, he will evaluate answer script. So like this, you can think of many things. Correct? So a lecturer is an actor. He will have certain actions. The first action is evaluate answer script. He will handle class. He will mark attendance, and he will set question papers. Now, these actions are also called as verbs. My God, my word is going very bad. So what are these actions called? Verbs. What is a verb in English?
Verbs.
Verb means action. Correct? No? In grammar, what is a verb? Anything which denotes an action is called as a verb.
Verb.
So now you have got two things. One is noun. The second one is verb. So this noun called lecturer has many verbs. Evaluate answer script, handle class, mark attendance, set question paper, etc. Now, this noun and verb is a combination. For example, for this lecturer noun, there are these many verbs. So we call this as, combination is there, no? We call this as use case. We call this combination as use case. What is the meaning of use case? One noun having many verbs is called as a use case. So the combination of noun and a verb is called as a use case. Now, this particular noun will have certain properties. Very important. Will have certain properties. Now, I said lecturer. Every lecturer will have a name. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Every lecturer will have, yesterday I was telling you about entity. Every lecturer will have a name. Every lecturer will have a qualification. Every lecturer will have a mobile number. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So lecturers, a lecturer noun will have properties. A lecturer will have verb.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm coming to this once again. So you had an actor called lecturer. So the lecturer actor had number of actions, that is evaluate, answer script, handle class, mark attendance, set question paper. Now this particular lecturer also had certain properties. The properties were the name of the lecturer, the employee number of the lecturer, the mobile number, qualification, etc.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I will do is, I will diagrammatically show this now, how it can be written. I will draw one box. Okay. Now, in this box, what I will do is, I will put one bifurcation here. I have put one bifurcation. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, there are two portions in this box, up portion and down portion. So, in the up portion, what I will do, I will put one more box. I'll show you how to do that. I'll put one more box. In the down portion, I will put one more box. Now, in this, I am going to put all the properties. What are the properties? He will have employee number. He will have name. He will have date of birth. He will have qualification. All these are what? Properties.
Yes, sir.
In the down box, I am going to put all the verbs, which are nothing but set question paper, mark attendance, handle class, etc. Now, I told you that in C programming, we had a concept called functions, correct? So what was a function? A function was a small module which performed a particular task. See, you wrote a function called sum.
Yes, sir.
What did that sum function do? It found the sum of two numbers, correct? Similarly here, I can say handle class is one function.
Yeah.
Handle class is one function. It will have open brackets and close brackets. Or just write like this. Handle class is one function. Then you have one more function which is called as mark attendance. Mark attendance is one more function. Yeah, mark attendance is one more function. Then evaluate answer script is one more function. I'll just simply write AS, okay? AS stands for answer script. Evaluate answer script is one more function. What else is there? Set question paper is one more function. So I'll say SQP. SQP is one more function. So now this box has got two sections. The first section of this box, now this section of the box, what I'm showing you, this section of the box is what section? Can you tell me now? This section is what section? I just told you. These are properties.
Okay, function. Yeah.
Properties, correct. So I'll call these as properties. And this section,
Function.
this section is called, yes, what is it?
Function.
Verbs.
Function.
Very good. Verbs, functions, methods, whatever you call. But don't use verbs now, you use methods. Verbs are also correct. Okay, we'll call it as methods. So I will call this as methods. Okay, hold on. I think this is properties. We'll put it up. Okay, now these are, what happened to that? Why it's not coming? Oh my God. Okay, I'll write it once again. So these are properties. I'll take one more box. Add text. These are methods. Now till here, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what I am showing you now, this picture, what I am showing you now, this picture is now called as an object. And the name of the object is called as lecturer. The name of the object is called what? Lecturer.
Lecturer.
So an object lecturer will have two sections. One section is the properties and the another section is methods. Is this clear till here?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just pay attention now. In C, I will write integer A. What does this mean?
A is a variable which you can put some value.
Very good. A is a variable of the type integer.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
What is integer?
Yes.
Integer is a type. Type, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Suppose if I say float B. B is a variable of the type float.
Float.
Now what I will do, now you observe this. Now I will say LECTURER. Give me the name of your lecturer.
Balu, sir.
Oh my God, okay. So I'll say lecturer Balu. So what does this mean? Balu is an name of the object lecturer. Is it clear? So I'll add Balu, then I will add Gautam, then I will add Sunil, then I will add Arjun. Like this, I'll add so many objects. So all these objects are of what type? Lecturer type. That means this Balu will also have employee number. So this Balu object will have employee number. Balu object will have name. Balu object will have date of birth. Balu object will have qualification. This Balu can handle class, mark attendance, evaluate, answer script, set question paper. Gautam can also do it. Sunil can also do it. Arjun can also do it. You are understanding this?
Yes.
So what did you do? You put all the collections together. You put all the collections together in one common quantity called as lecturer. Now what I will do is I will replace this here lecturer as a class. Now I'll call this class as a lecturer and I will say for this lecturer class, these are the objects. Balu is one object, Gautam is one object, Sunil is one object and Arjun is one object. So I can say lecturer class has got collection of objects. So now what is a class? A class is nothing but collection of objects. And every object has got properties and methods. Is that clear? Are you have any doubts? It could be a little confusing. So because you are new to programming, you ask me 100 times. One more time, I'll tell you. See, class is like a container. It is like I'm telling you. Class is like a container. Okay. in that container you are putting many objects. So what are the objects you are putting? These are the objects you are putting. So all these objects belong to a class called lecturer.
Okay.
Now lecturer class means it will have these properties and these methods, and all these objects will have these properties and these methods. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, nothing to worry. See, suppose let us create one more class. Let us say that I have one more class called employee. Just you can make a note of it. I have one more class called employee. In employee class, okay, I will have employee number, I will have name, I will have date of birth, I will have qualification. So here he is working for your company called Centum. There is nothing called handle class. There is nothing called mark attendance. There is nothing called evaluate answer script, set question paper and all. So there the thing is he will work on a machine. He will work on a project. He will work on quality. So these are the verbs. No? These are the actions. Now if I take Aritra, Aritra is an object of a class employee. And Aisha is an object of the class employee. So as the employee class objects are different, lecturer class objects are different. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Now you take a class called police. Now that police class also will, instead of handle class, he will catch criminal, he will collect fine, he will file a case. Those functions are different. Now there is a police by name Ram. So the name of the class is police. The object is Ram Lakshman. So those objects are different. Lecturer objects are different. Employee objects are different.
Yes, sir.
What are you trying to do? You are trying to segregate like this in the form of objects and classes. This is what you mean by object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming means analyzing the problem in terms of objects and classes.
Yes, sir.
In structured programming, you simply write functions upon functions upon functions. There is no segregation at all. In object-oriented programming, there's a clear-cut segregation. You have classes, you have objects. You have classes, you have objects. So classes are nothing but collection of objects. You take one class, it has got some collection of objects. You take another class, it has got some collection of objects. Any doubt here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now I am giving you living beings. Now suppose if I take a class called furniture, I will take a class called furniture, let us say. So what are the okay, we will not take a class called furniture. We will take a class called stationery. We will take a class called stationery. So what are the properties of the stationery class? You will have length, width, color, so many things, no?
Yes, sir.
So stationery means it can be anything. Eraser is a stationery. Pen is a stationery. Pencil is a stationery. So what happens in the methods? Can write is one method. Can erase is one method. Correct? Now object is pen and pencil, which means pen and pencil are the objects of the class stationery. Now can I put that pencil object in a class called lecturer?
No.
Possible. Very good. Can I put a lecturer object in a stationary class? They are different because the lecturer will not have the properties of a stationary class, and your stationary objects will not have the properties of lecturer class. So you are clearly differentiating. No? What are you basically doing is in object-oriented programming, you are basically differentiating. That's all. You are segregating things. How you are segregating things? Based on properties and methods. That's all. And after segregating, you are attaching objects to whatever you have segregated. Any doubt here? Are still getting confused?
No.
Okay.
No,
This
sir,
is
no.
what is the meaning of. Sorry. This is what is the meaning of object-oriented programming. Okay. Now. Now, this concept is there, no? See, all of you have eaten capsule. You have eaten capsule, no?
Yes,
So when you open the capsule, what will you get inside it?
Some powder.
Nectar will be there, no? So now you consider this entire box as a capsule. In this box, you have two sections. One is the properties section and second one is the method section. Correct, no?
yes, sir.
Putting this property and the method in a class called lecturer is called as encapsulation.
Encapsulation.
So what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but putting properties and methods within a class. That's all. It's called as encapsulation. So that is the first property of your object-oriented programming. So I will take a class called lecturer. In that class, there are two sections, properties section and a method section. In properties sections, I will have some properties. In the method section, I'll have some methods. For this class, I'll create objects. So putting these properties and methods within one small capsule called as a class is called as encapsulation. So when you open the class, you will get two sections, property section and method section. When you close it, it will be binded. So this is called as encapsulation.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
When you start Python
Yes, sir.
programming, you'll only be dealing with this. Classes, objects, classes, objects. So you have to be very clear with it. Of course, when you write some programs, you'll be able to understand that better. But now just understand what is the meaning of a class and an object. So a class is a collection of an object. What is a class? It's a collection of objects.
Object.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will recall once again. There was a class called lecturer. This lecturer class had got four objects: Balu, Gautam, Sunil, and Arjun. Is that clear? Now, this Balu object will have an employee number. This Balu object will have a name. This Balu object will have a date of birth. This Balu object will have a qualification. So we'll go ahead and write this now. So I'll write it here. Maybe 1 second. I'll write it and show you. So it'll be very, very clear now. So I'll write it here now. So what I'll do is, so I'll say BALU dot EMP number is equal to 100. So what is EMP number? EMP number is a property, correct?
Yes, sir.
This property is attached to a object called Balu. And what is the value? 100. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, comma. Then name. Balu dot name is equal to my full name. This is my full name. Then is equal to so what I have done, I have taken this property, and this property. So one more property is there. Okay, what is that property? Balu dot so this is one property. So now EMP number is there, name is there, date of birth is there, qualification is there. I've got different values. Similarly, I have one more object by name Gautam. So I will say Gautam dot EMP number is equal to 101. Then Gautam dot name is equal to this is name actually, okay? Then I don't know his date of birth, something I'm giving. Then so what did you do now? You took two objects. For these two objects, you gave values to employee number, you gave values to name, you gave values to date of birth, and you gave values to qualification, correct? Like this, you can create 100 objects. You create 100 objects like this. For all the 100 objects, you can give the values to employee number, name, date of birth, and qualification. Understood? Now, using Balu, I can say handle class. So suppose if I say, I can call this method. I can say Balu.handle class. It means I am handling the class. I can say Gautam.handle class. I can say Gautam.set question paper. I can say Gautam.evaluate answer script. I can say Balu.handle class, Balu.mark attendance, Balu.evaluate question paper. Because every object is different. Now, each lecturer will have to handle class. Each lecturer will have to set question paper. Each lecturer will have to evaluate answer script. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is common. Very, very, very common. This commonality is used by multiple objects. Correct? So this commonality is called as a class. Whatever is common, no, it is called as class. And whatever objects I am creating, they are all the objects of this class lecturer. Okay, now you can see here. Suppose now in C programming, now I'll tell you the exact difference between C and C++. You will understand this now. So what I'll do is I'll take a new document. See now, what I will do is, suppose in C, if I say integer a is equal to 10, then if I say a is equal to 20, now what will be the value of a? 10 or 20? You have the initial value of a as 10. Now you are telling a is equal to 20. So 20 will be replaced by 10, correct?
Yes.
You understood this or not, or you want me to explain?
Sir, explain one more time.
I'll say one more time. I'll explain. Suppose if I say integer x, okay, I'll say integer x. Now I'll say x is equal to 5. What is the value of x?
5.
Now if I say x is equal to 10, what is the value of x?
It's a 10.
What happened to the value of 5?
It will replace the
Erased. It got erased, no?
Yes,
that means if x gets a new value, the old value is erased. If I want both x and y, if I want both 5 and 10, then I have to make this as y.
Yes.
I have to create two variables. No? But see what happens in object-oriented programming? Now can you find the difference? I have one employee number only. I have one name only. I have one date of birth only. But this employee number will hold the value as 100, and also it will hold the value as 101. It is holding two values. It is the same employee number only. But this 100 belongs to Balu object. This 101 belongs to Gautam object.
Yes.
Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So the variable, the property will have multiple values, but which value the property is having depends upon from which object it is being called. If I am calling this, if I say print balu.emp number, it will print 100. If I say gautam.emp number, it will print 101. If I say aritra.employee number, it will print 600. It is same employee number only, but it is holding three values: 100, 200, and 600. These three values are coming from three different objects. But employee number is the same. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Or it is confusing?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. See, don't be skeptical. You ask me 100 times, I'm ready to teach. Don't be thinking that, okay, if I ask, what will happen? I want you to ultimately learn. That's all. I don't mind teaching you once again, because I know you are all not from computer science background, so it is little difficult to pick it. So did you understand this concept? Why you are giving the employee number, name, DOB as common and calling that through different objects?
Yes.
This is the concept called encapsulation. Now I will ask you a question. Now you tell me, one of you explain me what is a class. Now I'll come to know whether you understood or not. What is a class?
So class is a collection of objects.
Excellent. That's a textbook definition. Now you tell me what are the two sections of a class?
Property and method.
Two sections.
Properties and method.
Properties and methods.
Properties and methods.
Very good. Very good. Putting properties and methods within a class is called as dash.
Encapsulation.
And encapsulation.
Encapsulation.
What is an object?
Object is that it's one kind of function. What I have to tell you.
Now, object is a part of a class. Correct? It's a part of a class. Or instance of a class. You can call instance or part, whatever you call. Now, you have a class called lecturer. How many objects are there?
4, 5, 7. Now 4 are there.
For all these objects, will there be different values for employee number, date of birth, and qualification? This is what you mean by instance. What do you mean by instance? Tell me. See, what is the time now? At this instance, what is the time? What is the time now? Exact time. 11:23.
11:23.
Next, 11:23. Suppose if I ask you what is the time, next minute, what it will be the time? 11:24.
Yeah.
Time is same now. There are two values now to time. One is 11:23 and one is 11:24. Time, the time variable is the same, but the value is changing from 11:23 to 11:24. Is the variable changing? Oh no. Similarly, employee number is a property. Balu's employee number is 100. Gautam's employee number is 101. But employee number remains the same. Property remains the same. The name of the property remains the same. The values keep changing. How does the value change? Depending upon the object.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, in object-oriented programming, there is no need to create those many variables. You can just have one employee number variable, and you can use that employee number variable for Balu object as well as Gautam object. Suppose if you want to do this in C, you know how you have to write the program. I will show you now. Now you'll understand very clearly. So you should say Balu EMP number is equal to 100. Then you have Gautam EMP number is equal to 101. Then you have to say Aritra EMP number is equal to 102. How many variables you created? 3 variables you created.
3 variables you put here.
But in object-oriented programming, you'll have only one EMP number variable. That's all. That variable property will have 3 different values depending upon the object. That is the basic concept of object-oriented programming. You understood now?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. I think it's almost 11:25. Okay. So in today's class, we learned what is a class. We learned what is an object. We learned what is object-oriented programming. I made you understand what is structured programming and
Yes,
what
sir.
is top-down approach. What is
Okay.
top-down approach? Is divided